So, the Krieger S6 Sabre, how does it handle? How does it compare against others in the field? Is it a good saber? In general, I would say the answer to those is it is an extremely attractive saber and one that is very useful for tournaments. A very solid saber overall, and one that I think is really at the top of sabers for considering for the specifically UK HEMA market, and I would say in general probably the European HEMA market as well. So an introduction, why did I get this saber? I was lucky enough to borrow one of these off of a competitor in the UK for some of the recent tournaments, the Wessex League tournaments, and decided I really liked it and wanted to get our own. Some people in our club at Alsadia in Windsor, ran by Pedro, were also very interested in getting some of these. And so I put an order in. The ordering process was very efficient, very good. It took about maybe 3 months for the order to arrive. We had ordered some as a custom straight-bladed saber, which is possible if you are ordering online through them. Just talk to their representative through email. They will definitely be able to order you a straight-bladed or mostly straight version instead of the more standardly curved version, which is the one I have here at the bottom. Both are extremely nice sabers. I myself prefer the straighter version just because it is a little easier with sort of thrusts and things like that, but the curved version has advantages, and ultimately this is, if you buy the ones that are in stock, these will be shipped to you very quickly. The the more curved version, if they have these in stock, you can get these very quickly with not much issue in terms of like delivery or anything like that. These will arrive very quick and you won't have to wait the sort of 3 months for them to actually make stock if you want a more straight blade version. So if you order off the shelf, this is the version you will get, which is the more curved version. So I will review this, I suppose, primarily. So in terms of weight, this is the sort of UK spec version. If you buy this from them standardly, I believe it's 355 euros. Comes in at about 755 grams, 760 grams, something like that. And with the sort of more pronounced curve. The length of this is 84 centimeters, which is a little shorter than the, we have sort of a competition limit here in the UK of 86 centimeters. That does feel a slight bit of disadvantage if you're used to using that max length saber. You are missing out, a tiny bit of range there. Although you can put a thermoplastic tip on the end if you really want to, min-max your way to getting the perfect tournament length and everything. In terms of handling, these are extremely nice sabers. Point of balance about 11.5 or 12 centimeters. I really like them. I think they handle beautifully. They are extremely well made. They have a peen at the bottom here, so it's a peened construction, so you can't really take it apart. The guard is heat treated, extremely solid. I've used this for months and not had any real damage on the saber at all. The blade is holding up beautifully. I very much like that it is sort of on the stiffer end as well. I think the flex is probably about 9 kilos or something. I haven't measured it exactly, it must be 8 or 9 though. I'm very much a fan of slightly more stiffer sabers than the normal, well not normal, but if you order swords from somewhere like Swordia or somewhere, they're coming up recently, they have very flexible swords and they sort of take away, if you're trying to do any bind work, if you're trying to, well, just in general cuts and things become a bit more tiring as that momentum that you're putting into the blade goes into sort of the wobbling of the tip and stuff like that, which I really don't like. So I do like a stiffer saber, and kind of prefer them in general, really. Glove space is very generous. You can fit a nice kind of glove size in here. The bowl guard is plenty protective. As I said, yes, the weight is very nice, in that sort of 750 gram range, right on the bottom end of what is allowed in UK competitions. And even if you just had this as your normal sort of club beta saber that you were using regularly, I think this would hold up very well. And it's nice, it's not super tiring. Point and balance being that 12 centimeters is a little further than some others on the market maybe, but you have to go to somewhere like Saudia to get a point of balance of 10 centimeters, which is much sort of further towards the handle. But they have the problem of being very flexible and too flexible, in my opinion, to be nicely handled. So in terms of the grip, they have a nice kind of curve here. You'll see that I've put some sort of hockey tape over my grip here. This is because I think one of the main issues, if I were to say any issues with the Sabre, it would primarily be the grip. I've had some others say they don't really want to get a Krieger Sabre just because of how the grip is standardly. The grip standardly is this sort of, I think it's might be a 3D printed plastic or something like this with these kind of holes in. The only issue with that is it does kind of tear up your gloves a little bit, because they're sort of not sharp exactly, but just when you're moving around in your glove and you're doing cuts and things, there is a slight shift in your grip and everything, and over time that wears down the fabric of your glove, and so it can tear it. So I tried to amend that just by putting some hockey tape over this like this, which has actually added a little bit of weight, but it's towards the handle. It's added maybe 20 grams towards that handle area, but it handles fine. So if you really wanted, you could get the standard Krieger version, which is about 735 grams, and you could wrap the handle. You could wrap the handle in, just I guess leather or grip tape like this, and that would add, 20 grams to put it over that limit. I don't recommend that. I think that it's better to have the Sabre as standard be over the competition weight limit. So do that. However, as saying this, it still handles extremely nicely. These are very nice sabres. Are there any other points I would like to add? As I said, blade has a fuller in it. Guard is extremely strong, heat treated, no real dents or anything that I have to worry about. Construction is extremely good. The peen is maybe, I've had some others express, issue that maybe they would prefer it if it had a nut and you could untie it and take the whole assembly out, but as it's peened, you kind of can't really do anything to the Sabre as such in terms of like replacing it or anything like this. But I'm pretty sure Krieger are very good on their warranty policy, and if you have any issues, I think you can contact them and they will sort you out very quickly. So in general, I really like the Sabre. I think it is one of the top sabres, definitely, for particularly UK HEMA market. I think this is a great competition sabre. I think it's better than the Regagniers, the Siggies, certainly the Pokers, Saudia. I'm pretty sure this is one of my top. Well, actually, this is the sabre I use in competition, and I think it's pretty much unbeatable for its abilities in giving you a really nice sabre for an affordable price. 350 euros. You have to pay a bit of VAT, but you're paying maybe 100 euros extra over some other sabres, and I think that's well worth it for what you get from Krieger, who I think deliver an extremely good quality product. So yeah, I'm surprised there are no reviews out there of this sabre. That very much surprises me, given the quality of the make, of the brand. Krieger is extremely good, ran by Konrad Kramasz in Poland, and yeah, everything was fantastic. Shipping, communication was great. I really like this. It is a quality product. I recommend it.